From prey to predator. For 3 decades, humanity had been nothing but prey. The discovery of faster-than-light travel should have been our greatest achievement, our triumphant entry onto the galactic stage. Instead, it became the beacon that drew predators to our door. The first attack came without warning. The Krozek Imperium, a militaristic species from the Orion Arm, descended upon our outer colonies with brutal efficiency. Mars fell in 6 hours. The lunar bases lasted barely 2. By the time Earth understood what was happening, 10,000 human lives had already been snuffed out. The United Earth Defense Force, cobbled together from the remnants of national militaries, was hopelessly outmatched. Our most advanced warships were knocked from the sky like toys. Our weapons barely scratched their shields. The aliens didn't even bother to communicate. They simply took what they wanted and killed anyone who resisted. It was as if ants had tried to fight against gods. But humanity has always possessed one trait that has ensured our survival against impossible odds: adaptability. Captain Maya Rice stood on the bridge of the UES Cerberus, Earth's desperate final gambit. At 38, she had already lost everything: her wife on the Mars colony, her brother on Europa Station. Her face, once soft and quick to smile, had hardened into something angular and dangerous, like a blade honed by grief. "Final systems check," she ordered, her voice carrying across the bridge with quiet authority. The Cerberus wasn't beautiful by any conventional standard. Unlike the sleek, artistic vessels of the Krozek or the crystalline ships of the Ellerin Collective, Earth's flagship was ugly, brutish, and utterly terrifying. Built in secret beneath the Pacific Ocean, it represented everything humanity had learned from 30 years of getting slaughtered. "All systems green, Captain," reported Commander Ushikawa, her XO. His fingers danced across holographic displays, bringing the ship's unprecedented power systems online. "Quantum sync is stable at 97%. Particle cannons charge. Dimensional anchors on standby." Maya nodded, feeling the slight vibration through the deck as the experimental engines came to life. The technology aboard the Cerberus shouldn't have been possible. Not for humans. Not for another century at least. But desperation breeds innovation, and humans had never been more desperate. "The Krozek fleet has breached Saturn's orbit," announced Lieutenant Commander Okafor from Tactical. 18 capital ships, over 40 support vessels. They'll reach Earth in 26 hours. This wasn't just another raid. This was an extermination force. Maya straightened her uniform. "Send the message to Earth Command. Operation Prometheus is a go." The Cerberus slipped away from Earth under the cover of a prototype stealth system, a ghost ship carrying humanity's last hope. If they failed, there would be no second chance. The ship's revolutionary propulsion system engaged, folding space in a way that even the most advanced alien civilizations had deemed impossible. Maya had studied the Krozek tactics obsessively. She knew their weaknesses, their arrogance. They had never faced serious resistance from humans before. They expected the same easy victory they had always enjoyed. They were about to learn how dangerous a cornered animal could be. The Cerberus emerged from its spatial fold directly behind the Krozek formation. For 3 precious seconds, the aliens didn't register the human vessel's presence. Those seconds were all Maya needed. "All batteries, fire at will," she commanded. The experimental weapons of the Cerberus came to life. These weren't the conventional energy weapons or fusion missiles that had proven so ineffective in the past. Earth's scientists had developed something altogether different. Weapons that bypassed shields entirely, targeting the dimensional frequencies that allowed faster-than-light travel. The first Krozek dreadnought simply ceased to exist, its matter scattered across 11 dimensions simultaneously. The second suffered a cascading power failure as its quantum fields collapsed, leaving it dead in space. The third managed to return fire, but its energy beams dissipated harmlessly against the Cerberus's adaptive shielding. On the tactical display, Maya watched as confusion spread through the enemy fleet. The Krozek had never encountered anything like this. Their communications became frantic, disorganized. They had come expecting to hunt, only to find themselves facing a predator far more terrible than they could imagine. "They're attempting to regroup," Okafor reported. Maya's lips curved in a smile that never reached her eyes. "Don't give them the chance. Target their command vessel." The Cerberus's main weapon, the quantum disruptor, powered up with a sound like reality itself being torn apart. The technology was barely understood even by those who had built it. A weapon that didn't destroy matter so much as rewrite the fundamental laws of physics within a localized area. When it fired, space itself seemed to bend around the beam of impossible light. It struck the Krozek flagship dead center. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the massive vessel began to fold in on itself, compressing into a singularity no larger than a pinhead before vanishing entirely. "Signal detected," Ishikawa said, surprise evident in his voice. They're hailing us." For the first time in 30 years of conflict, the Krozek were attempting to communicate with humans. Maya's expression remained unchanged. "Put them through." The view screen flickered to life, revealing a Krozek High Commander, 8 feet of armored chitin and murderous intent. Its compound eyes reflected the bridge of the Cerberus in fractured images. "What manner of devilry is this?" the alien demanded, its translator rendering the clicks and hisses into stilted English. "Your species cannot possess such technology." Maya stood, facing the creature that represented decades of human suffering. "You should have checked our history before you attacked our worlds. Humans don't just adapt, we evolve. We learn. And we never, ever forget." The Krozek commander's mandibles twitched in what might have been fear. "The Imperium is willing to discuss terms off." "There will be no terms," Maya interrupted. "You had your chance for diplomacy 30 years ago. Here are your options now. Retreat beyond the Kuiper Belt and never return, or be destroyed to the last ship." "You would not dare," the alien sputtered. The Galactic Concord wooled. "The Galactic Concord has stood by for 3 decades while you slaughtered my people," Maya said. "They made their choice. Now you make yours." The Krozek commander stared at her with alien hatred. "This is not over, human." "For many of you," Maya replied coldly. "It is." She cut the transmission with a gesture. "Target the next 3 largest vessels." Within minutes, half the Krozek fleet was either destroyed or in full retreat. News of the battle spread across subspace channels faster than light itself. Throughout the galaxy, species who had dismissed humans as primitive, as prey, watched in stunned silence as Earth's vengeance unfolded. As the last Krozek ship limped away, Maya received a transmission from Earth Command. Admiral Chen's weathered face appeared on screen, disbelief and hope warring in his expression. "Captain Reyes," he said, "you've done the impossible." Maya looked around at her crew, survivors and orphans all, forged in the crucible of alien aggression. "No, Admiral. We've simply shown the galaxy what humanity has always been capable of when pushed too far." The Cerberus returned to Earth orbit in triumph, but Maya felt no joy. This wasn't a victory. It was merely the beginning. The galaxy now knew that humans were no longer prey. The question was whether they would respect humanity's strength or unite against this new threat. As the Earth grew larger in the view screen, Maya made a silent vow. Never again would her species cower. Never again would humans be victims. The age of human subjugation was over. The era of human ascendance had begun. The reckoning. News travels quickly in an interconnected galaxy, even across the vast emptiness of space. Within days of the Cerberus's victory over the Krozek fleet, subspace channels buzzed with alarmed communications between previously unconcerned species. Humanity, long dismissed as a primitive curiosity at best and convenient prey at worst, had suddenly become the most feared newcomer to galactic politics. Maya Reyes stood before the United Earth Council, the collected leaders of humanity's surviving colonies and Earth nations. The chamber was somber despite their recent victory. Too many empty seats represented territories lost to alien aggression over the decades. The Galactic Concord has requested an emergency session, Maya reported. For the first time in our history, they're inviting Earth representatives to attend. President Kamari of the African Union leaned forward. Is this an olive branch or a trap? Both, Maya answered honestly. Our victory against the Krozek has forced them to acknowledge us, but they fear what we've become. The technology aboard the Cerberus violates several of their most sacred principles. Principles they conveniently ignored while we were being slaughtered, growled Director Zhang of the Pacific Coalition. Maya couldn't disagree. The Galactic Concord, a loose alliance of the 17 most advanced species in the known galaxy, had maintained a strict policy of non-interference during the 3 decades of Krozek raids. Their justification had been that humanity needed to earn its place among spacefaring civilizations. In reality, they had been content to watch a potential competitor be culled. We should send a delegation, said Representative Okonkwo of the Lunar Remnant. Show them that humans can be diplomatic when treated with respect. And if diplomacy fails? Asked Director Zhang. All eyes turned to Maya, and by extension, to the Cerberus in orbit above. Then we show them why it shouldn't, she answered simply. The Concord Assembly was held on a massive space station at the galaxy's central trading hub, a neutral ground where thousands of species conducted commerce and politics. The human delegation arrived aboard the Cerberus, making no attempt to hide the vessel's devastating capabilities. It was a calculated move. Humanity came in peace, but from a position of newfound strength. The assembly chamber was a marvel of alien architecture, a vast amphitheater where representatives from across the galaxy gathered in environments suited to their unique biologies. Some floated in bubbles of exotic gases, others were submerged in carefully maintained fluid tanks, while most sat or stood on the tiered seating that encircled the central speaking floor. As the first human delegation ever to enter these hallowed chambers, Maya and her companions were the center of attention. She could feel the mixture of curiosity, disdain, and fear emanating from the gathered representatives. The High Arbiter of the Concord, a luminous being of pure energy contained within an ornate mechanical frame, called the session to order. We address a matter of grave concern. The Arbiter's voice resonated, automatically translated for all present. The species known as humans have deployed weapons of dimensional manipulation in direct violation of the Concord's first prohibition. Maya stepped forward onto the speaking floor. With respect, High Arbiter, Earth is not a signatory to the Concord's prohibitions. We were never invited to be. A murmur rippled through the assembly. Furthermore, Maya continued, these prohibitions did not seem to apply when the Krozek were systematically eradicating human colonies. Our technological advancement was born of necessity, the necessity to survive your indifference. The representative of the Ellerin Collective, a crystalline being of ancient wisdom, chimed in with a musical voice. The human speaks with justified bitterness. We have failed in our responsibility to maintain galactic peace. The humans were deemed too primitive for Concord protection, countered the Vex hegemony's ambassador, a cloud of interconnected nanomachines that formed a vaguely humanoid shape. Their sudden leap in technology suggests outside interference. We demand to know which Concord member has been sharing prohibited knowledge. Maya's laugh echoed through the chamber, silencing the debate. You still don't understand. No one helped us. No one came to our aid. Everything we've accomplished, we did ourselves, through human ingenuity and desperation. The assembly erupted in disbelief. It was inconceivable to them that a species could advance so rapidly without external assistance. The Krozek representative, newly appointed after the destruction of their previous command structure, rose from its section. The humans lie. They could not have developed such weapons independently. They are a threat to galactic stability and must be contained. Other voices joined in agreement. The mood was shifting dangerously against Earth. Maya stood firm. We came here hoping for understanding and a new beginning. Instead, we find the same prejudice and dismissal that allowed our people to be slaughtered for decades. She gestured to her delegation to prepare to leave. Earth has no desire for conquest or revenge. We want only what every species deserves, the right to exist without fear. But make no mistake, we will never again be victims. As they turned to exit, the High Arbiter's voice boomed. Captain Reyes, the Concorde has reached a decision. Maya paused, tensing for what was to come. By emergency vote, the Galactic Concorde has deemed human dimensional technology an existential threat. You are hereby ordered to surrender the Cerberus and all research data to Concorde custody. Failure to comply will result in immediate and unified action. It was exactly as Maya had feared. The established powers of the galaxy weren't interested in justice or coexistence. They were interested in maintaining their dominance. I'm afraid that won't be possible, she replied calmly. The Arbiter's energy form pulsed with anger. You stand alone against 17 of the most powerful civilizations in the galaxy. This is not a request. Maya tapped her communication device. Cerberus, this is Captain Reyes. Execute Protocol Lighthouse. Across the galaxy, on every inhabited world of every Concorde species, quantum beacons suddenly activated. These had been deployed covertly in the days following the Krozek battle, not as weapons, but as a demonstration. The main viewing screen of the assembly lit up with live feeds from hundreds of locations across dozens of worlds. In each one, a small beacon emitted a harmless quantum field visible as a sphere of blue light. What is the meaning of this? Demanded the Arbiter. Insurance, Maya explained. These quantum beacons were placed on all your homeworlds and major colonies. They're harmless observation devices, for now. But with a single command, each could become a dimensional disruption weapon similar to what we used against the Krozek. The assembly descended into chaos. You threaten the entire Concorde, the Vex ambassador shrieked. No, Maya corrected. I'm showing you that if we wanted to threaten you, we could have done so without coming here at all. The fact that we chose diplomacy first should tell you something important about humanity. The LRN representative's crystalline form shimmered thoughtfully. The humans could have struck without warning, as was done to them. Instead, they seek dialogue from a position of strength. Perhaps we should listen. Slowly, the pandemonium subsided. Even the most hawkish representatives recognized the implications of Maya's revelation. Humanity wasn't just dangerous. It was several steps ahead of everyone else. What are your terms? The High Arbiter finally asked, its luminous form dimmed with reluctant acceptance. Maya stepped back to the center of the speaking floor. Recognition of Earth and all human colonies as sovereign territory. Reparations from the Krozek for their unprovoked aggression. And most importantly, a restructuring of the Concorde to prevent the strong from preying upon the weak. She surveyed the assembly, meeting alien gazes.